Nothing that requires the labor of other people is a human right. Oh, so you don't think everyone should have access to healthcare? It's like, in theory, I would love for that to happen, but it's literally entitlement to believe that you deserve other people's labor.
Yeah, no, that's silly. See, rights are man-made. We made them up, which means we decide how to define them. And the way we do that is actually not via vaguely philosophical arguments on the internet, but via legislation, right? Human beings write and vote to enact laws that guarantee your rights on both a local level, a national level, and a universal level, which ironically is other people's labor, right? Legislators do labor funded by tax money to guarantee your rights, which you are entitled to as a citizen of the world. But of course, those rights don't really exist unless they're also protected. So if your rights are being alienated, you're supposed to be entitled to protection from police. You're supposed to be entitled to due process and fair defense. And yes, that's an internationally recognized human right per the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Specifically, Article 10, everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing, or Article 11, everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty. Now this all sounds very labor intensive, right? A lot of other people's labor you're legally entitled to. More to our purposes, here's what Article 25 says. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care. So there you go. Not only are you philosophically wrong, you're also quite literally wrong. Now, what you did say you'd love for everyone to have access to healthcare in theory.
It's like, in theory, I would love for that to happen.
What about in practice, right? Because this is a map of the world color-coded by people's access to healthcare. Dark blue, which is most of the world, means people here are guaranteed full access to healthcare. Red, like the United States, means people here are not guaranteed access to healthcare. And then the various shades of blue are somewhere in between. You might notice you're not in very good company here. You're also creating objectively poor results, right? The United States healthcare system is the most expensive in the world, but you're only ranked something like 28th or 29th in terms of actual quality and outcome of the treatment. So you're paying more and receiving less than basically every other what we call developed country. Now the reason for that is painfully obvious when you think about it. When you turn something that's life essential into a product, the customer doesn't really have the option to not buy the product. They will suffer or maybe die, which means the company providing the service is incentivized to make the product as expensive and profitable as possible. There's also kind of an incentive for poor and ineffective treatment, because poor treatment means prolonged treatment, which means repeat customer, right? More money. When you nationalize it, now it's no longer a profit incentive, right? Now it's a national expense, which means the incentive is to make it as inexpensive as possible. And also, there's an incentive for quality treatment, because quality treatment means less treatment, which means less expensive. And well, the proof is in the pudding. The results speak for themselves. The way the United States is doing this is not good, and that's not a criticism of American people. The American people are the victim of this charade. Now, as for human rights, a lot of you might have noticed that there's an awful lot of guaranteed human rights that people around the world actually don't have access to. Which is the point, right? It's kind of aspirational, right? Designed to quantify exactly the bare minimum of what a government should be able to provide in order to not qualify as oppressive or authoritarian. Which is why arguments like this one, which I have heard before, kind of worry me, right? Because they rely on thinking about human rights as if it's some sort of abstract philosophical musing. There's nothing abstract or wishy-washy about human rights. It's very clear and concise. So when the government is failing to live up to the bare necessities, you shouldn't be falling for pro-corporate arguments that frame oppression as freedom. No one has the right to your labor. It's not slave labor, right? It's paid labor. The money just comes from tax money, which is already a thing, right? There's already labor being bought with tax money. money. In fact, that's kind of what a country is, right? The government's responsibility is to utilize national funds in a way that's actually beneficial to their people. Without that part, the country is really just kind of a landmass. So telling people that they in fact are not entitled to their tax money being spent in a way that's actually beneficial to them is very transparent, very insidious, pro-corporate propaganda. Also, universal healthcare doesn't illegalize private healthcare, right? All of these countries also have private healthcare systems that you can choose if you can afford it. It's just a guarantee that people who can't afford it aren't left out in the cold. And interestingly, those private systems are also often higher quality and more affordable than the American system, because the presence of a national system means the patient has the option to turn the product down, which makes the marketplace more competitive. That's interesting, right? When applied properly, socialism makes capitalism work better.